And go.
Hey guys, you're listening, watching. What the fuck are we doing? I was gonna say something totally different, but here we go. Um, so Miranda, how have you been? We're back
I'm good. I'm going to get
We
my
had a
eyebrows done today, so I'm so excited.
with brow down,
Yep.
brow
I
down.
would never let anyone else touch my eyebrows ever
Yeah,
again.
same. Like, there's
Even
no
if I
going
move
back.
far, I will come back to see her because no,
I've
I
been
won't.
going to Shelby for I don't know how many years now.
Since before she was even brow down.
Yeah, because I remember the first waxing place she got hired at.
Mm-hmm.
For her interview, she needed to bring someone in to wax to like show
And it was
them or
you?
something, and she brought me. I remember it was so great.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
I love you, Shelby, but
do
let's
too.
talk about last week. Last week was so great. I mentioned in Wednesday's episode how proud I was of you, but I feel like we got so
Thank
much good
you.
feedback.
I know. I know. And like the people that we got feedback from, like a couple of them were my friends. And it's funny because when I had said like, "Oh, I saw this in some of my friends' relationships," like those were not the ones that I saw it in. So I was like, "Oh, even more people are
You're like, wow, I didn't
dealing
even
with
know.
these things." Yeah. So that was nice to know.
Isn't it crazy? It's like we all
It is
think,
crazy.
like, especially with social media, I feel like you constantly see couples, like whether it's your friends or whatever,
Yeah, and
and it's
everyone's
like they're so
"Oh."
happy and like
Mhm.
picture perfect, and then they're out of those relationships, or maybe they're still in those relationships, and then they hit us up after the episode and they're like, "Oh my god,"
I know. I
and
can't
you're like,
stop moving. I'm
"Whoa, I had
sorry.
no idea." Okay,
I know. That's what I was thinking because I was like, well, one of them I was like, oh, now that makes sense. But before I never would have
yeah,
thought. And I was like, wow.
who would have
Yeah,
thought?
so that was fun. That was a fun one.
So if you haven't listened to last Monday's episode, go ahead and check that out. Miranda got a little vulnerable. We talked about relationship anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
which ended up being such a great topic, and I'm excited. We're gonna have to touch up
I know.
on that again, I think, next season to see where we stand.
To see where we're at in life.
Yeah, we'll see if I'm still single. Maybe I'm in a relationship and I'll have some anxiety about it. Who knows? But
hope not.
this week we're talking about something. It's definitely a fun topic, I think.
Yeah,
It's
I
something
think so too.
I've been talking to my friends a lot lately. I don't know exactly why, but today
Mhm.
we're talking about love languages.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, when we were talking about this, did you take psych in high school?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I did too. And I'm pretty sure like back then, I think I took it when I was a junior. And I'm pretty sure we took this like the quiz.
The test. Yeah, I
Yeah,
took the
and
quiz.
I remember I'm like 90% sure that mine was like fucking like gift giving or something because I was like 16 and was like
Like your number one was like you like to give gifts?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like to get gifts.
Receive.
That's what mine was. I was like, give me gifts. That's what mine was. But I remember taking it and I was like, dude, I'm like 16. Like, why are we taking this? But
I remember taking it then. I also took it my junior year. I took like psych and sociology.
Mhm.
And I remember taking that. And I also took it,
I think I
2
took it
years
in
ago
college.
now? I took it in college. Thank you for
Mhm.
reminding me. When I started at Fullerton and I took like a psych class.
Mhm.
Took that. And then I also took it in therapy. She had me take it.
Oh.
And I
I
remember
think
we
it's
like
important to know. Like
we
to know your
totally it is.
results.
And it's also important to know other people's, which we're going to talk about. But I remember we totally like dived into my results and I was like, whoa. Like I totally
Oh, I'm
figured
sure
out.
there's like some like whole deep meaning behind
Oh,
them that I
yes.
don't even want to know why.
But what we're going to talk about too, Miranda and I took the test last night
Mhm.
to get fresh results.
Mhm.
And did you notice, since you said you have taken the test before, obviously it's going to be different from when you were like in high school. I sure would hope it's
Yeah.
different from when you were in high school.
Yeah, it is.
But were they different? Like different than when you
Um,
expected?
Yeah, they were. I'm not gonna read you them yet, but yeah, they were.
Yeah, don't read them yet. But
What
they
I
were
thought,
different.
like, cause it like does them on like a scale, kind of. What I
Yeah,
thought
it's like
was
kind
gonna,
of like a first to last, and it
Yeah.
goes percentage based.
the one that I thought would have been like second or third was actually last, and I was like, oh, clearly I've
Mm.
evolved. Like, look at me changing. Yeah, but I knew what my first one was gonna be, cause like I just know already how I am.
You just
So,
okay. See, that was like
did you know what yours was
me.
going to be? I feel like
So
I know what yours is. Oh, you
I
told me, but
totally,
I already knew. I
I
already knew.
totally know. I totally knew what my top one would be because I
Hmm.
think even like just life, not even thinking about taking the test, like this is a conversation I have with Bailey all the time. Bailey, my
Uh-huh.
friend Bailey, if you guys don't know who Bailey is, she like when she talks to someone, she like really wants to get to know them. So she even asked
Yeah.
me, she's like, "What are your love languages?" Like, and I remember one day I was like, "Oh, this is what I think they are." And then I took the test because I wanted to confirm. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, my first there's my top one. I guess I always said, "Oh, I think it's either this or this." I'm like, I think it could be both.
Hmm.
But no, when I took the test last night, I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
exactly it." And every single time I take it, it's always number 1.
But I think that's good. I think it's good to be like aware of what yours is. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know what theirs
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And then they don't, then they're like, I don't know. And then they don't know what their partner's is either. And then I think that like causes a lot of
And then everything's all fucked up
issues.
and it's like
Yeah,
you don't
because
know
no one
it's
knows
like
how to love each
love
other.
one another the way that they need to be loved. See, cuz I
Yeah.
think that's really what it is. Like I feel like when I ask people, like, I'm not trying to sound like cheesy or corny, but it's really
Uh-huh.
like, okay, like, how do I have this go smooth sailing in a way?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
But
you
it's
can't,
different
like,
because I'm single and you're in a relationship and we both took
yeah.
different tests
Was
because
it
there's
different?
different tests for.
I didn't look at the single one.
So we'll actually look at it because, well, I'll ask you what questions you had and then we'll see what I
Okay.
had
Also,
because
if you see my blue pants, I'm wearing sweatpants and I don't care. So, look, I look like cotton
bucket.
candy. Cute. It's a vibe.
You do.
And yeah, I don't know if they're different because I forgot to look at the single one. But yeah, we can just ask
So
each
for
other.
those of you who don't know, or if you're new here, hello.
Mm-hmm.
I'm single. Miranda is not. She is in a loving relationship. And what we did for this episode, unfortunately, the boys that we are going to be speaking of today could not be here. But Miranda's boyfriend also took the test.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously took the couples version. And she
Mm-hmm.
has his results. And she'll be sharing them. And I asked a very good friend of mine to take the test, who he is also single. And I spoke to him about it, and I'll be sharing his results.
Did he say that his were
And
accurate?
no. So, okay.
said
So
his
he
weren't.
said his were accurate, but 2 of his, he took like percentages off or added percentages to what he thought. So I'll explain it. But yeah, his
Okay.
wasn't completely accurate, but he was like, yeah, it's kind of close enough.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it. Okay.
I should probably
So-
ask my boyfriend because I didn't even ask him if his were accurate. I was just like, yep, they are.
Miranda's looking at it. She's like, yes, I know this.
I'm like, I already
Um,
know these are right.
Okay, so we kind of already got into it a little bit, but we knew
Mhm.
about love languages what seems like for a very long time now because you took a class in high school, so did I. We took the test in college. I feel like love languages, yeah, it's just like a common thing that you hear about. But like we said, I don't think a lot of people really know theirs. Like, I'm not saying you have to take the test to know, but I feel
No,
like
I don't think so
either you don't really know or you're not really telling people, or maybe the people just don't care and they're just like, I'm gonna love you the way I want to love
People
you.
don't give a shit. Well,
Yeah,
I
people
think
really
that,
just
like, so stupid. I'm
Are
like, do
you
you think
texting
that
him?
your results were accurate? He's like, well, I answered it honestly, so yeah. I'm like, that's not what I meant, but okay.
He's like, Miranda.
He's
Yeah,
like, I'm
I
not
took
lying.
the test.
God,
Also,
okay.
while Rodrigo replies to Miranda,
Mhm.
this guy has never been here before. This is my bear, Alfredo. I was gifted
Alfredo.
him for Valentine's Day, and he kind of just sticks around because my nephew is in love with him.
He's so
So
cute,
that's
and I
why
love him.
This is
Normally
why
he
we
has
still
a hat
have
on.
him. Normally he has a golf trucker hat on, and normally he isn't in the shot because I want you guys to be able to see Kendrick, but I mean you
I
still
like
can.
him there.
So
My boyfriend
Alfredo's
keeps telling me
hanging
that
with us today.
I
My
need to
results
stop
were
recording.
accurate, Miranda.
No, okay, wait, you're gonna laugh at what he said. No, I was gonna say he keeps telling me I need to stop recording in my closet. He's like, you need to find somewhere else, and I'm like, but this is where it sounds the best, and so I
Pay
don't
for a
care if
studio.
people see. My closet
a
is
studio.
really nice too. Like,
It's
everything's
very clean
organized,
compared to
so-
some people's. So, guys, if we
This
were
fucking
recording in my
loser.
closet, I don't know if you would be able to say the same thing.
Yeah,
But
I keep this shit immaculate. Actually, this shoe is falling over. Don't look at it.
Okay. So
Okay.
we've known about love languages for a while. Miranda said that her
Yeah,
scores have evolved since she was a
they
child.
have.
She no longer just wants to accept gifts all day.
I don't
Mine
just want
have
presents.
mine have always been pretty similar. Like the percentages will change a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but mine, like my top 3 have always been the same. But yesterday's numbers were very different, like my last few, and I feel like it's very funny. So when we get into it, I feel like you're going to laugh, and I can't wait to see whether you think it's accurate or not.
I'm
Because
excited.
when I was sharing them with my friend last night, when I asked him to
Uh-huh.
take the test, he literally laughed and he was like, "That's hilarious, Randy. That like my last result, like the percentage number, he was like,
Yeah,
how? Like I don't understand."
that's
But
funny.
okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I can go first. Am I just reading my percentages, like in my top one?
So let's do read, because you know how it gives you a description on your first, like your one
Yeah.
you scored on. So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess let's say our percentages from like number 1 spot to like the last, the fifth, and then
Okay.
explain the little description that it gives you for the number 1. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
My number one, this is no shock to me. Acts of service. It's
I
33%.
knew it. I
Yeah,
wanted to
like
say it.
no.
Before you even
This
sent it to
doesn't
me, I
shock
was like,
me.
Miranda's an acts of service.
Yeah, this doesn't shock me at all. I like when people do things for me. Like not like buy me things, but like do things for me or like things that I don't want to
I
do.
just love it because the way it sounds.
Yeah, right. Well, I do love that one. Okay, my next one is quality time at 20%. I knew that. Um, this is where
Wait, what did
I
number
was
1 come at? What was the percentage for number 1?
33.
Sorry to interrupt.
33.
33.
You're
Okay.
good. Yeah. My third one, which shocked me, was words of affirmation. I am so not a words of affirmation girl that really shocked me. Physical touch and was the next one, and that one and words of affirmation had the same percentage at 17. And then my last one was gifts, and that was 13%. So it's not super low, but like I was just shocked that was my lowest one because I like when
Last,
people buy me gifts. Like it's like
I really
wow.
thought so when you and I were taking the test and then we
Uh-huh.
were like, "Oh, we're going to like share each other's results with one
Uh-huh.
another." I immediately thought, I mean, I've always known since being your friend. I was like, she's an acts of service girl. Like
100%.
especially I feel like if you know what love languages are, or if you could just pick up on like context clues or when people talking, if you listen to the podcast, there has been many times where there's one story specifically that I think I can tie to this. The
What?
story of when your ex-boyfriend was at your house and you had to take out the trash and you're
Oh,
like,
and
why
he
the fuck
wouldn't
aren't you
do
doing it
it?
for me?
Oh.
Yes.
Or when I watered the lawn by myself. Yes,
Yes.
I'll never forget those.
I like immediately was like acts of service.
100%. And
That's all
it's
Joe.
so wild to me because I feel like, at least to me, and maybe because that's the way I like to be loved, it's a very easy love language. Like I feel like it's so easy to do those things for people, and like I don't mind doing things for people because I like when people do shit for me. Um,
Yeah.
but like I feel like other ones like quality time, I feel like that could be like a difficult one sometimes. Like like
Oh
life
yeah.
is so fast paced and like people are always on their phones and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I'm really easy to love, but I could be wrong.
You're like, just do
Rodrigo
shit
could
for
be
me.
like, no, bitch, you're not.
I absolutely love right now how you explained how quality time could be a hard one because we're so busy. And you're like, mine is so simple. Just do shit for me, even though you're busy. Like, I get what you mean. I'm giving you a
One
hard
of the
time.
one of the questions was like,
Yes, tell me your
you
questions.
know how, okay, so it's like, what did it say? Like, I feel most loved or whatever the thing is when, and then it
Oh,
gives
I
you
feel
the
most
two
loved
options.
when, and then it gives you 2 options.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 options. And
That's
one of
pretty
them
much
was
how
like,
my entire test was.
I
Was
feel like they're
yours
the
similar?
same. Yeah, that's how mine was. But it was like, when my partner does something that I don't want to do, even though they're busy, and then the other option was whatever the fuck, and I was like, that one's it. Like, of
'Cause
course,
he's busy
even when they're
and you're
busy.
still helping me. You
Yeah.
know what?
Well,
I
and,
think
like,
our tests were the same.
I think so
I'm
too.
gonna
I
check
think
after.
maybe it's just like worded different. Cause did yours say like when my partner does? Is that what yours said?
Oh, well, mine doesn't say when my partner. Mine was like when someone you love or like, like
Okay, so
just-
maybe that's the only difference then.
Yeah.
That's probably the only difference was that wording. How dumb. We could have just taken the same one. But
But you're
yeah,
not a
I was
single.
like I was like acts of service. That's me.
You're like, anything that is you doing something for me, I'm
And it's
choosing that
like
option.
even like just the simplest things. Like I'll be like, "Oh, can you grab me the?" Like you've been at my household. My whole house is like that. Like I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
can you get me this?" Or Morgan will be like, "Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Sure."
It's just
Like that's
everyone
just
doing things for one another.
mhm. So maybe that's how we all are then. But I don't know. So that's I think why maybe I am the way I am, but I love it, honestly. I love
You
when people do
find
things
your
for me.
results to be accurate, though, like you said.
Yeah, I mean the only one that I was like, "Whoa," was the words of affirmation. Just cuz
So
I don't
you
really
don't
feel like
you don't
I
need
don't
people to
know.
be like, I appreciate you, I love you.
No, no. Remember we were just talking about this last week. Like I need more like validation rather than like I love you so
But
much. Like blah. Is it the
I
same
feel
thing?
like that's the same thing because it's just you being reassured.
Maybe I just need it in different. Like I don't need someone to tell me they love me all the
It's
time.
not telling. Yeah, I don't think it. I think
I
you're
don't
just
like
such a
that.
bad bitch. You're like, you need
I
it in a
just don't
different
need.
way.
I just need you to be like, sure, Miranda, go buy fucking Chick-fil-A instead of Chipotle. Like that's what I need. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why my words of
So let's
affirmation are so
change
high.
it from words of affirmation to you to validation. And you scored
What?
what percentage in validation? Words of affirmation
17.
is now. So you got 17% in
Validation.
validation. There you go.
Yeah.
We corrected it. Now it's completely accurate.
Yeah, I get
I
that
love
now.
that for
Okay,
you.
that's fine. That works with me.
I'm gonna share mine now, and then we'll share the boys.
Okay.
I was gonna say the males, but that just sounds gross.
Okay.
So mine, number one, and Miranda was correct.
I already know.
I got 30. We both got 33% on our top ones.
Did they give us, like,
33%
the same?
quality time. I'm a quality time bitch. I love quality
That's
time.
really
I love
funny.
I love being one-on-one with the people that I love and care about. And
Mhm.
like you said, quality time can definitely be hard. I was in a
Yeah.
long distance relationship and fuck that. That
Same.
was
I
just
hated that.
like,
But I think that quality time is hard too because, and I mean, I guess it could be with everything, but like quality time means different things to different people because like
yes.
some people it's like, oh, let's just lay around. Like to me, spending quality time with you, we could literally just be laying around watching The Office, like fucking eating.
Yeah.
But like to some
Us.
people,
So
it's like
us.
I need like undivided attention, like no phones, no this, you
Yeah.
know. So I think it's like different.
It definitely, okay. This is something that we talk about a lot. You and I both, it's always, it depends. It depends.
I knew you were going to
And
say that.
my friend that took the test for the singles, the guys singles, he makes fun of me because he's like, why is everything depends to you? Like, why? Like,
Because
why,
it
what do
just
you?
does.
And it
just
does. It really
depends.
does. But I think, like with you, how you said, me and you, we can watch The Office, be on our phones, coexist, not talk. I love that. That's our
Yeah,
quality
like
time.
we're just hanging out.
We could also go out and have the time of our lives.
Yeah,
and
and
I
it's
will
like
love that
quality
too.
time.
But yeah, like I think if it comes to like relationships, like someone I like, I definitely love like every once in a while just completely like undivided attention. Like to me, that's nice. Like you
Yeah.
really get to connect with the person that way. But it's like, no, I'm not the person that needs undivided attention 24/7. I just like as long as you're in my presence and we get to like be together.
That's how. Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
how I feel
I
too.
love that.
I don't like undivided attention in the sense that it's like,
No, you
like
cannot
no,
go on your phone.
no
Nothing.
phones, no
Oh,
TV.
okay.
Like I'd rather fucking get run over by
I
a
thought
semi
you.
truck.
Oh, you were supposed to do that when you went to Joshua Tree, weren't you?
I don't like when I'm not on my phone, I feel like every 5 seconds someone's like an emergency's happening and I'm like they need to call me and like nothing's happening, but I don't know. That's called
You're just
anxiety.
like anxiety. I was gonna say anxiety.
Yeah, but like I feel the same way. Like quality time, you know, like Rodrigo just moved into a new place and like we've been like setting up his stuff and like going to the store together. Like that's quality time to me.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
is.
just us. We're going to IKEA, whatever.
Just hanging
don't know.
out. See, that's what
think
I said. Like literally just being in. Like it could be a friend of mine, someone I like, whatever. As long as you are in my presence, I think of that as like quality time, and like I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Unless
I
you're
agree.
like rude as
Okay,
fuck.
what's your
like
next
it's
one?
different. Like My next
Unless you're
one,
rude and like you're like on the phone the whole time and like being stupid.
like that's different. Like if that's someone, someone you like is doing that, like that's a different story. Like I'm annoyed, but it's like obviously if I was with you doing it, like no, like that's different.
Different.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm
God,
not
is
gonna
your
be like,
top
Randy, get
fuzzy?
off your phone. Yeah.
Is your top fuzzy? I love it. It's so
It is.
cute.
It was
A
supposed
vibe.
to be Morgan's. It was her birthday gift, but it didn't fit her, so now it's mine.
Oh, it didn't fit her 14-year-old sister, so now it's hers. I love it. My next one. So I got tied.
Oh, what?
I
With
came
what? With
in
what?
at 27, lucky number 27,
Uh-huh.
27% for words of affirmation. Of course,
Knew
I
it.
usually quality time and words of affirmation are the ones I've always like swapped on for my first.
Uh-huh.
But words of affirmation and this is what I'm kind of surprised.
Physical
Physical
touch?
touch.
Ooh. I
I'm
knew
kinda
mine was
shocked.
gonna be where it
I
was.
knew that wouldn't be yours. I always thought physical touch, when I've taken the test before, has always scored like lower. Like it's always been like second to last for me. So I was very shocked on this one. Maybe it's because of the like pandemic and quarantine. I'm like craving
I was
touch
just
more or
gonna
something.
say maybe like,
But like
yeah, maybe
I am a touchy person. Like if I like someone, like I like holding
Yeah.
hands. Especially like I don't need to be super PDA, but it's like, yeah, I like to touch.
Same.
Touch.
Okay, you know what's funny too is because I'm really not that person very often unless I'm like
Oh,
drunk.
we are
Then I'm
complete
like,
opposites
yeah.
in that.
But like when
area.
I'm in a relationship, like if I'm sitting next to Rodrigo now and like he's not like like his hand's not on my leg or something,
holding
I'm
you
like,
or something.
and like I like scoot closer to him. I'm like, who am
You're
I?
like, touch me.
I'm like, excuse me, I'm sitting right here. Like,
No,
hello.
that's me. I think like when I like someone, like say we're in the
Uh-huh.
car, I'm like if
Mhm.
you're driving and your hand is not on my my leg, I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah. No,
Or
Rodrigo
like
holds my hand all the time when he drives. It's super
I
cute.
love that.
I know.
Me over here being single, just like
I know. It's
One
gonna
day.
happen. It's
It
just
will.
the right guy hasn't
When
come
it's-
yet.
when it's meant to. But yeah, I'm a
When
physical
it's
touch
meant
girl,
to.
I guess. This is the one thing that I was shocked on. Like the fact that it
The
tied
physical
for
touch?
second. I really think
my
it's
God.
like quarantine getting to me. It's just been a
Honestly,
while.
These headphones sometimes make me feel like a crazy person. Probably that's what I was gonna say. But you are really like a
I am a touchy
affectionate
gal.
person.
I am.
So that doesn't
Like I need that. So
I'm not
it just
shocked.
really shocked me that it tied for second. But these are my other ones. So words of affirmation and physical touch tied for second at 27%. Then we had acts of service at 13%.
And what was your gift at?
Zero last.
What,
I got
Randy?
0% for gifts. This is why my friend
You
was
don't like
laughing.
getting
'Cause-
gifts?
Okay, so this is what I think about that. I think that I really had a whole like moment last night where I sat down and just really thought about it. I love getting gifts. Like I
Yeah.
really appreciate when someone gets me something cuz like especially like oh I just thought about you or like I just
Yeah.
saw that, you know, even if it's little. Like I love that shit. It makes me happy. But I think I've always been here comes the deeper meaning. I think I just never liked asking people for things. And when people usually give me things, I think there's like some like motive or like something weird behind it. So I'm usually just like,
That's so funny because I'm so like
you're like, give me all the gifts.
I'm
bitch.
like, here's my list. You can pick. They're ranked from price range.
I literally
that's
died
so
because
funny.
that was us for Christmas this year. Like
Yeah, we
Miranda
literally
and I,
gave each other lists.
Miranda was like, should we do lists? And I'm like, bitch, give me your list.
You
I
guys,
can get you exactly what you want.
I love to buy people gifts. I love getting gifts. I have like I'm the person that loves buying people gifts so much that I have like I want to ruin the surprise so bad because
Yes,
I'm like I need
Miranda
you to just
will
open
literally
it.
buy something and be like, I really wish I
I'm
could
like,
tell
should
you what
I
I got
just tell
you.
you? Should I
And then
just
she'll
tell
tell you, and you're like, I did not want to know. And my birthday is in 4 months.
Oh my god, I love doing that. I really love gifts.
But yeah, I
can't believe
came
we
in
were
at
0%.
zero. But
That's wild.
so
I'm shocked mine is that as low as it is.
what the 5lovelanguages.com says about quality time. It says your primary love language, Randy, is quality time. In quality time, nothing says I love you. Oh, it says right here, like full undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes you feel truly special and loved. Distractions, postponed activities, or the failure to listen can especially be especially hurtful. Yeah, that's me. Like, I don't know
That's
about the
fair.
whole undivided thing, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, be there for
I
me
didn't
when
even
I need
I
you.
didn't read mine. Okay, let's see. Where's
I didn't
mine?
read all
Oh,
of it because
this
it was
is
kind of long,
Rodrigo's.
but I
I know
touched
this
up on
is
it.
long. Mine
Acts of
says
service, baby.
anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on an acts of service person will speak volumes. True. The words he or she most want to hear, let me do that for you. Yeah.
You should get that
Laziness,
tattooed on you.
let me do that for you.
Let me do that for you. I can fix that.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is finding ways to serve speaks volumes to the recipient of these acts. It does. Um, that
I
makes me
love
sound
that.
like
It
such
speaks
a fucking
volumes.
bitch. Like, do that for me.
You know what? I just feel like that is just so, like, that's so on brand for you. Like,
It is. It
Miranda
is.
Joe,
And
acts
it's
of
like
service.
partly because I am like a lazy person, but also I just like
I feel
really
like it's not even
appreciate.
really that. I think you just
No,
really
I
love
just
that.
like when people do things for me.
I just love it.
It
Um,
makes me feel loved.
just super weird. I doubt any guy is listening to this, like, in
What?
hopes to date me in the future.
I hope
But
they
just
are.
it, but just in case, don't think that I don't like gifts. Like, I want plants and I
They're
want
like,
flowers.
they're like, score. I don't have to
No,
spend a dime on this bitch.
literally, I think that's what, like, I want. Okay, I'm
Oh
totally
my
gonna
God.
ask my friend that took the test for us, because I felt like I should ask him, be like, if I say I posted this, I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, guys would be like, score, I never have to buy this bitch shit because
Yep.
she doesn't want it.
Yep.
That's not what I'm saying. Like, you can pay for dinner, you
Oh
can
my
take me to
God.
the movies.
That's hilarious. They're like,
But
she
yeah,
doesn't like
0%.
gifts at all.
I don't have to do anything for her, and I'm over here like crying to you. I'm like, Miranda.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You know what's funny is this is somebody that I reference often. I'm not sure that they even listen to the podcast. One of my friends is dating someone, right? And we were just talking about this because every time like a holiday or things like that have come up,
Oh God, I don't even
yeah,
want to know.
there's always been the conversation of like, are they gonna get me something? I'm trying not to use like pronouns. Are they gonna get me something? You know, whatever. And I've always been like, they should, because your love language is gifts, gift giving and gift receiving and those types of things. And
They
it's
should know
funny.
that.
Yeah, and it's funny to watch somebody like try to be like, "Oh, but it doesn't matter that much to me." And I'm like, "No, no, no. It
But it
does matter
does.
that much to you, and there's nothing wrong with it mattering that much to you." Like, I don't think that, like, I'm totally not at all ashamed of the fact that I like people to do things for me. And I don't think anybody should feel like, "Oh, well, he or she doesn't do that, so I shouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, like I shouldn't expect it, or
I've
I
totally
shouldn't."
been there too, where it's like you try to,
And you like get your hopes up, and then you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, like, and they don't do it, and then you're like, it's okay, I didn't need it anyways. Like,
yeah,
I
it's
didn't.
it's not even that big of a deal. It didn't really
Uh-huh.
mean that much to me. And it's like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck
I hate
up.
that. I hate that because it's like these are things that I don't think. Obviously, I think it had something to do with like the way we were raised and whatever, which is why we like to be loved in certain ways. But I don't think it's something we can change. Like, I don't think I'm, you know, in a year gonna be like, oh my God, I love. What are some of the options here? You know, like I love to be touched all the time. Like that's just not who I am. You know.
Yeah, like maybe, who knows? Maybe something will
But it's
overcome you,
like-
and maybe you will. But
Probably not. But you know,
I doubt it. But
I don't-
Like,
I
I'm
just-
saying it is possible for some
it is
people.
to change. But I just think it makes me sad when people try to like.
Play it off like it's not something.
Yeah,
that they
or like
need.
change their love language to like
someone
match their partners.
Because it's like at the end of the day, okay, like I have literally, I feel like it's not corny to be like, oh, like when you're dating someone, these are my love languages.
No,
and
I
this
don't
is
think
how
it
I
is
would
at
like you to
all.
love me. I think it's so important, especially like this is something, I don't even know who I was talking to about this the other day, but I was talking to someone about how like aging, like as we get older, like I've never been the person to, I literally talked about this in I think Wednesday's episode.
Yeah, I
I'm
heard
not
it.
afraid of getting older,
Mhm.
but I feel like now that I am older, I'm starting to realize like all the things that I thought were stupid or like not important are so fucking important.
Yeah.
Because it's like now, if whenever I do date someone next, like I want to let them know, like, yeah, I'm a quality time ass bitch. Like I'm gonna need
Yeah.
quality time with you because
Well,
that's the only way. It's not the only way it will work for me, but it's
but
like
it's like a big part of it, and like
yes,
that's okay. But isn't that crazy? I think about that all the time too. Like all the times when I was younger and like naive and didn't know that like I should come first. Like all the times that I like
did things for others.
yeah, like ignored what I wanted or like things like that. And it's I think the difference is now that we're older and like we're more mature and like we know that, you know, we're not going to be here forever, but it's like you shouldn't change the way that you want to be loved to be like to fits. I don't know. I
You
don't
have to
know.
like enjoy now, like
Yeah.
enjoy like yeah. I don't even know how to explain it, but
I know what you mean. I don't know how to say it either, but like I know what you
like now I'm at this point where it's like, okay, like I am still very, very young. But
Mhm.
when I start dating someone, like I think right away now, if I realize like they're not a quality time person and
Yeah.
they
Then
can't give
it's
me
like,
that, like
okay,
no.
bye.
And it's like, I'm not just saying this is you having to tell people, like, oh, these are my love languages and you love me this way. Like, it takes work. You need to
Sure. Yeah. We
figure out
have
what
to
they
like
like.
adjust to everybody's.
This is something I've honestly learned with you. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but when Miranda and I first became friends, like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was going to therapy, and this is something I was starting to become more aware of because it's like something I realized with my past relationships. Like, people are only loving you the way they know how to.
Yeah. They don't know any other
Yeah,
way if
they
you
don't
don't
know
tell
any
them.
other way. And I never was the type of person to be like, oh, like I need quality time. Like I would really like
Mhm.
to spend more time with you. Like this, and that. I just expected them to know. And
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck? Like
Well, and I
what?
think a lot of people do. I think that's like what the main problem is a lot of people expect people to just
Like
know
you
these
don't read
things.
minds. Like, and that's the thing
No.
is, even if someone loves you, like they're not going to know. Like
No.
I
And they're probably what they're probably going to initially do is love you in their love language because that's what they like.
exactly.
That's what
And
they
see,
like.
this is what I was going to say when it came to you. Like, I have always been, I'm a quality time and words of affirmation girl.
Mhm.
So Miranda and I would spend time all the time together. And I was like, oh, I'm getting what I need from this
Mhm.
relationship. And this is the thing. Love languages aren't just romantic relationships.
No,
Guys.
it's in
It's
every
literally
every aspect
everything.
of your life.
And I'm also a words of affirmation girl.
Mhm.
And Miranda, like, I mean, we just got her results. She is that, but I have learned that she's not that much. Like, I tell her all the time how beautiful she is, how
Mhm.
incredible she is. But I shortly after found out this bitch likes gifts. So I randomly surprise her with gifts. Like every once in a while, like if she's feeling down or if
Mhm.
I'm proud of her,
No,
like I
and yeah,
do
she
little
does.
things like that for her. And she gets so excited. And it's like the
Mhm.
smallest thing, but it's like
Mhm.
that is how she likes to be
Yeah,
loved.
and like
So
Randy's
that's what I do.
totally words of affirmation.
Oh,
Totally.
I need it.
And
Like
so it's
Miranda
like
will one day tell me good morning and that she hopes I have a great day and I will be in bed sobbing. Like I'm that person. Like I need
yeah.
that.
Or I'll be like, "Hi, I hope your day's lovely." Like
Yeah, and I'm
we just
like
like have like but it's you have to know like people don't just know those things. And I think that that's why so many relationships fail because people and like people don't think to like focus on that part of their relationship like, "Huh, why isn't this working?" But it's like if you're not giving somebody what they need and they don't even know what they need or they don't want to tell you what they need, how is it going to work, you
I
know?
was just gonna say I hate myself. I was gonna say riddle me this. Dwight says that. But
Riddle me this.
so like you and I, for example,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we're just friends and I was able to like just being observant and being your friend
Yeah.
and being in your life, I was able to pick up on like, okay, this is more of her style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong. Maybe I'm feeling more bold and I just don't care anymore. But it's like
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, I like quality time.
I
I
don't
like
think
this.
there's
I like
anything
that.
wrong with it either.
Like if you're good enough to be able to pick up on those things and be like, oh, you know what? Like I noticed she likes this. Like I'm gonna switch it up. Or I noticed they like this. I'm gonna switch it up.
yeah.
I think the next person I date, I'm gonna be straight up like, what's your? I'm gonna send him the test,
I
the
think
quiz.
that you should. And
take this?
I think that like the person that I mentioned earlier, part of me thinks that they don't want to tell their partner like I need you to do this and I these are the things that I need
But
and
it's
I think
like-
it's like fear of like losing them and it's like if that would make you lose them like okay bye.
Is it
Like,
okay? That's so crazy. I obviously do not know who you're talking about. I'm not
Mhm.
even picking up what you're putting down.
I'll tell you later.
But
I'm trying to give
But,
very minimal clues.
like, oh, I'm sure. But like, I think about myself in my last relationship, or even guys that I've just dated, where
mm-hmm.
I and I hate this, and Miranda's not like this at all, but I've always been the type, like, I will make myself smaller. Like, I used to make myself smaller for, like, a man. I don't even want to say a man, but for guys. And I would do everything because it's like I just wanted them to be satisfied and happy. So it was like, oh, I would figure out their love languages all day and do all those things. And then however they knew how to love me, I would just take it because I was like,
accept it.
That's all they're willing to give me. So I just want it. And it's like, we're only here for such a short amount of time. It's like, why would you not want to be loved? Like,
I know. I wish that younger people knew those things, because I think
like,
feel
I
like
didn't know this. I just learned this recently.
I didn't know either, and like I don't even remember what it was like in my last relationship, but like I remember I always did a lot of things. Like I always, because I did a long distance thing too, and I would always like send things and like craft these boxes with fucking pictures and like all this shit, and like. Not that I didn't get stuff in return, because I did, but it was. I don't think we understood each other on that level like we needed to. Like I think we did.
Also, we were so
young. But I wish that someone would have said those things to me. Or I wish I would have known, like, oh, he needs this and I need this. I really need this. All the things I'm doing for you, I kind of need. Like, so I.
Isn't that crazy that that's how that works? Because I noticed that, like, I was thinking about my last relationship last night when we took the test, and it's like, you can give, like, I gave so much of myself at the end of the relationship, and like looking back at it now, like after like being out of the relationship, I realized, like, yeah, everything that I was like being, I guess you can say, extra about towards the end,
was
I was
stuff
like,
you need.
that was literally me begging, like, do this for me, please. Like, this is what I need. And they're just like, fuck you. No. Like, no.
But I think that's what tends to happen with people is like you.
So, yeah, I think your friend is scared.
I know. I try to talk to them about it all the time.
But it's like.
Hopefully they're listening.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that that's how it is.
It is. It makes me sad, and it's.
I just realized something again.
What?
On another episode. No, I'm just saying. I just realized that, like, it's so true. Like,
yeah, and it makes me sad because this person is just like so deserving.
I was projecting. When I say people project, I was being serious.
But like, it makes me sad because they're very deserving of love and everything that they want, and I see it, and I know that, and I'm not in their relationship. I don't know, but from what I see, I don't think they're getting as much as they're giving. And I'm like,
and it's hard because it's like at the end of the day, you don't know, you're not them.
No, and people are only going to do what they want. And it's like, most of the time people don't see it until they're on the other side of it. And then they're like, damn, I wish I would have listened. But
we've been there.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm rooting for you.
You're like, I hope you figure your shit out.
Yeah.
But love language,
literally
so important. Let's get into Rodrigo's.
Okay.
So Rodrigo is Miranda's boyfriend, if you did not know that.
Yep. Okay, so none of these shocked me at all.
Did he take the test before? Like, ever? Do you know if he's ever taken it before?
Like maybe. I feel like him and I did this a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I say a long time ago, like we've known each other that long. I could be wrong though. Maybe I just took it one day when I was bored. I don't know. Okay, so his first one is quality time, 29%. I knew that.
I feel like he seems the type.
Yeah, his next one, this one kind of shocked me a little bit. Not a ton, but his next one was acts of service at 26%. And those are pretty close. And then the next two are tied at 19%, which are physical touch and words of affirmation. Those two, I thought that physical touch would have been second. And then acts of service.
He got quality time, number one.
Acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation, and then his receiving gifts was last.
And 6%. You thought physical touch would be second and not third?
Yeah, I thought it would have been second. I just thought it would have been higher. I just thought.
Touchy touch.
Yeah, that's who he is. And like, I'm fine with it. But now I know I got to step up my acts of service game. But he said, this is what he said. I asked him if he thought that they were accurate, and he said yes. And then he said, actually, receiving gifts shouldn't be that low. It's a 6%.
He's like you.
Yeah.
I feel like
he's
I mean, based off the brief things I've heard about him, I feel like receiving gifts probably should have been a little higher
I
too.
thought so too, but he's also not like he's not someone that's gonna ask for things.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if I'm like,
See,
oh,
I'm the
what do
same way.
you?
Like I will
Yeah,
never ask for
no,
anything.
that's not how he
Like
is.
if
Like
you want to surprise me, I will be over the moon and so
yeah,
happy.
and like he'll if I'm like, oh, what do you want? Like for whatever, he'll be like, oh, okay, here's options.
Oh,
But
I
like he's not
hate when
gonna.
people ask me what I want.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why.
But I usually have a list. So
You have a list
I
always.
literally have a list in my phone right now, and it
She's
says
like size,
things I
color.
want.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, so that one like the receiving gifts didn't shock me. I really just thought that the physical touch would have been
Higher.
higher. Quality time didn't shock me at all. I knew that. But yeah, so I feel like his are pretty accurate, and I feel like, so we're a fairly new relationship. I think we've been together for like 8 months. Um, and it's definitely been like a challenge, not a challenge, kind of a challenge to like, figure out each other's love languages because
Yeah. Because it's definitely, you're still like, I hate, I mean, I don't know if anyone thinks this, but I feel like when I was younger, I always thought like when you date someone, it's like you know them already, and it's like
Yeah.
you literally get to know them.
Yeah,
throughout
like
the entire
as you're dating
relationship,
them.
like
Yeah.
literally as you're dating
well, and
them.
I think okay, that's like
even
kind
when you
of
marry someone,
still
like,
learning things
you're still
about
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
yeah, but okay, so that kind of ties into like last week's episode because I just kind of expected to like know him, but like obviously we're still getting to know each other. But like the quality time thing, I live at home still, and a lot of the time like he was coming out here and like coming to spend time here, and it's not like we're by ourselves here, like we're with my whole family and he loves my family and that's fine, but he was like, I need like us to have more time together. So
Yeah.
I make now he lives by himself, so it's much easier, but now I go to see him much more than I was before, but it was like a serious effort on my part to not just be like, well, you can come here, like
All the time.
why can't you just come here? Acts
Yeah.
of service, like you come here because I don't want to. So that was definitely something that took some adjusting.
I feel like it's all like just work.
It is because you have to figure out like, okay, like what's a balance here, and now it's like okay,
almost like compromising because like how we keep saying like, oh, you need to learn your partner's love languages and you need to know yours so you can ask for that. So like with yours, you're not a physical touch person, but his is more on the higher scale than yours is. How like just in general, like how would you say like you compromise that in a way? Because you're not like
I'm
how
not
you
like
said like
not-
when he's by you, like you like him to like touch you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think it's just more we kind of have the same thoughts on it because like he's not a super like PDA person and I'm not
Okay.
either. I hate when people are like that. It just
so it like balances out.
yeah. So like for the most part, we've been on the same page about it. We've definitely had like our few issues with it, but it's just like for me, physical touch is something that it just takes time. Like I kind of have to warm up to it. And so now, now we're gonna hit a year very soon. So I've definitely become I know. I've definitely become more comfortable with it. But like I had to express that to him. It takes time for me to get here and to like be comfortable, but things are going pretty smoothly. But you have to have conversations about it. Like that's if you don't talk about those things.
Because I remember like when you and I were talking about it and then you guys had the conversation. I'm like, wow, like see how simple that was? Like literally it's
see how easy it is to fix things if you just talk to
just,
somebody.
Just have
and like sometimes it's scary and it's like uncomfortable and like you don't want to have certain conversations, but you have to like, and this is something, I learned within the past 6 months, like you have to get past that like fear, and 90% of the time they're not gonna like be like upset with you or like bothered that you like have
and
a
if
certain
they are like that's a sign like
yeah,
that's telling of something.
So I don't know if I just got like a really easygoing boyfriend or what, but yeah, he's like very understanding of.
I love that.
I know, I got lucky. So
because it's like I think about past relationships, it's like I haven't been in many, and it's like clearly we had our own situation where like we didn't talk about love languages, but I wonder like if you got in a situation where like you knew your love languages and you knew your partners and like obviously vice versa, they know your stuff, and something's like dramatically different, like how do you go about that? Like let's say
Oh, like if someone was like all about physical touch and the other person was like totally anti.
Totally anti, and then like the other person is totally like an acts of service person, and the other person is like, I don't like doing shit. Like, I
I don't
know
want to
that
do
just
shit
sounds
for
like
you.
awful, but like,
But yeah, like I'm not gonna do
what
your
do
chores.
you do? Like, if you are like, I get like if you're willing to make anything work, you're gonna make it work. But it's
Yeah.
like, what about those couples like who really like,
I don't know that you could
I will
actually
do this for you. Like, do you
could
think
you
that's
really
like I
be
could?
with somebody if like I don't know. I think that you would be unhappy if that person didn't want to love you the way you wanted to be loved. Then unless you both like seriously were like we
Or
have to fully compromise on this and really do things that we don't want to do, but
yeah,
we're gonna
like
do
what
it
if they
because we
did
love
that?
each
Yeah, I'm
other.
sure there's people out there.
Yeah,
But like,
and
I
they
love you so
probably
much. I love you so much. Like, I know you're not that type of person, but it's like,
no.
what if they're like, I love you so much, like I am willing to do that for you. Wow, where are they at?
Yeah.
But no, I just hope
I
my
feel like that
love
would be a
languages align with
constant
someone.
struggle.
Struggle.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Could you imagine being like, fuck, I really don't want to do this, but I guess I'm going to keep doing it because I love you? No, fuck no, I couldn't.
Okay, I'm going to explain
Enrique's?
my friends.
Oops,
Well,
I just
was gonna
outed
say
his
that- No,
name.
it's fine. No, it's my friend Enrique. He is also single. We have been friends. We just realized for like 10 years now because we met our freshman year of high school.
Yeah, dude, we're old.
It's been that long.
Oh my God, and I'm older than you.
So I've known him for 10 years. We are both single.
Mm-hmm.
He is like one of my favorite guy friends ever. He is the sweetest.
He is
And
very kind.
I literally
Sorry.
sent him the test and I was like, can you do it? And he was like already taking it. And I was just like,
Oh,
thank you. But here are his results. Okay. So me and him tied for the first one. We both got 33% quality time.
quality time.
So he's
All
a quality
three of you
time
are
guy.
quality time except
We're all,
me.
we're all quality time people.
You all need to hang out together.
His second was like mine. He tied. Two were tied. They're
Okay,
not
what
the
was
same
it?
as mine. He got 23%, so a little less than my 27. 23% acts of service and 23% receiving gifts.
Oh,
He's
Enrique.
definitely, I feel like being his friend, I've picked up, he's a gift guy.
Yeah.
Then he has 13% words of affirmation,
And his
And
physical touch is last?
7%.
Wow.
And clearly, I'm not going to read the quality time description again
Yeah.
because you guys know what that is. But when I asked him, like, okay, do you think these are accurate? I unfortunately did not ask him if he has taken the test before.
Uh-huh.
He said verbatim, yeah, I'd say it's pretty accurate, but I would have thought -5% in gifts
Okay.
and +5% in touch.
Okay. I was going to say that the physical touch is, I mean, mine was even higher than that.
Yeah, so he was 7% for physical touch.
So he wants to add 5 to that
Yeah. So he
Okay.
wants to add 5 to that, and he wants to take 5 off
From
of
his gifts.
Which his
which
gifts
would make his ranking what? So his ranking would now
so
be
his gifts were 23%.
So it's still high.
Still high, but he's taking 5% off, and he's
Okay.
adding 5% to physical touch. So 12%
I
physical
don't
touch.
Okay, so I don't know Enrique really like well at all. In fact,
I know
every
him,
time,
and
yeah, every time I've met Enrique, I like forget that I've met him before, and I feel so bad. But the physical touch one, I feel like I almost know that. Like I can almost sense it from him that it's lower. You know?
he added to his physical
But it's
touch,
still
though.
pretty low, right?
Yeah, it's
7,
still low.
8, 9, 10,
You
11.
think it would be lower than that? Like
No,
12%?
like I feel like that's like where I would have estimated it. The gifts one is kind of funny. Like he's pretty high up there on his gifts.
I think he is totally like, okay, so how we were saying like you can know someone forever, but like
Yeah.
you still get to know them every day.
Yeah. Was that like a shock to you?
No, I think as of recently, like me and him have become a lot more closer
Uh-huh.
over the years, and I'm definitely learning a lot about him. But him taking this test, I think I was like, yeah, I think I've realized that like over the last couple
Yeah, you're a
like
gifts
year,
guy.
like he is a gift guy, like that is him, but. Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked, like the physical touch.
Yeah. What his
Acts
first
of
one was
service.
quality time.
But I'm still getting to know him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 10 years. But, like, I think we were so young. And, like, now we're older.
Yeah, well,
like,
and it changes. Has he
things
ever had
change.
like serious relationships?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was like. I
Not
wonder-
any, like, recently that I know of. But
He all
yeah,
has like
he's,
a
like-
secret life.
You know what? I would not be shocked.
He
I would not
seems
be
like
shocked.
very like he keeps it all to himself.
I love that. Like
I do too.
that's
Like
how
that
a
gift
majority
thing
of my guy
shocked
friends
me.
are. That's how a majority of my guy friends are in a way, and I just absolutely. I think he's one of the most like more private, like to himself.
I love people like that. I love people where you never
like,
know what's going on.
I want to be that.
Me too,
way.
but I can't. I'm an oversharer.
I am too, and I hate this. But the other day he was texting me, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he like told me what he was doing, and I hate myself for thinking this. But initially, I was like, I had no clue you were doing that, and it's like
you're like, why didn't you tell me? Like
yeah, or why didn't you? I didn't see you post anything that you were doing that, and it's
and
like
you're like, oh my god, not everybody does that.
I don't post everything that I do, but I remember just being like, "Ew, Randy, what the fuck?" Like
that's funny, but that's how I am too. Like,
and I just like
people can go and do
I admire
things.
them.
I do too.
I admire them so much.
You know what it reminds me of? This is like the analogy that this is how my brain puts it. Like we talk about like minimalist people and like maximalists, and we both know that we're not minimalist by any means. But like to me, that's like the minimalist, like the version of minimalist, and we're not that. And we're fucking not that at all.
That makes so much more sense, and I'm glad you said it that way because now I don't feel bad because
me either,
I'm big, I'm out there,
like I'm
this
a lot.
Is my life.
I'm loud, everything about like
Alfredo
that's
thinks so too.
But that's like how my brain just made it. And like when I think him, I think like minimalist. And then I think us and I'm like, not at all. Like, no.
Not at all.
No.
And I think this is, okay, so since we said his name, Enrique, he's one of the friends I talk about on the show a lot. I just never mentioned his name. But they're the group of guys that like when Miranda and I would go hang out with, like it's just a good time because I think they're all like that and we're not. So it's like a nice little balance. You know?
Yeah, we're like loud and annoying, but they're all like cool.
Something that reminds me of my group of guy friends and Enrique especially is I saw this tweet the other day about how men could go on like an extravagant vacation and you'll never know about it.
Yes, I saw that. But it's
like,
true.
You'll never know.
They're not gonna like pose for pictures and like
you will not know unless you have a conversation with them about it one day and they're like, oh yeah, I went here.
How funny is that? I wish I was that way.
I kind of love it because
you know what's funny is
but that's just not us. It's not us.
If I tried to be that way, every fiber of my being would be like screaming, like you need to tell somebody.
Itching. It's like you need to tell someone now.
Maybe one day, maybe in my next life, I'll be.
We have a whole fucking podcast,
literally to talk about ourselves.
I love it, but yeah, that was Enrique's. So you got two singles. Who said Enrique was the only one who said his weren't like totally accurate. I guess. Yeah. I was a little shocked on my gift giving. Motherfuckers, buy me gifts.
I was very shocked by your gift giving. Not because you 0%. like gifts, but I'm shocked by that.
Like I didn't even get like a 2. Like I should have got 0.
I didn't think you could score 0 on anything. I thought that everything just evened out.
Apparently, no. Apparently, but that was so much fun. I'm glad we had this conversation.
I know, me too.
And now, if any of my friends are listening to this, or any potential people that I would date, if you don't love me the way I just said,
then don't come around.
Yeah, like,
and if you want to buy us gifts or anything, do things for me and hang out with Randy. Yeah.
Buy things for Miranda and you could just go kick it with Randy.
Yeah. I'll take gifts or you can run my errands for me. Either one.
You got to be fully vaccinated. I need to see your card. Masks, please. Wash your hands. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Yep. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.